What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down how you can get recruited to be a Division One wide receiver. So I hope this video helps you guys out. Hope it could teach you a few new things, but also, fellas, if you are a wide receiver and would like 200 plus wide receiver drills with the exact sets and reps to do, all organized into specific categories, check out that very first link in the description below where you can get access to all of those drills. Like we said, we have those videos organized into specific categories like wide receiver routes, releases, hands, gym, etc. So check out that very first link in that description below if you would like access to those drills. Let's get started with this video. So now, first thing we're going to be talking about in terms of recruiting and playing the wide receiver position is not the most ideal situation. So we get a lot of questions about like, hey coach, I'm short, I'm undersized, will I still be able to play at the next level? Hey coach, I'm in a run heavy offense, we don't pass the ball a lot, I don't have a lot of opportunities to make plays. How can I get recruited? Coach, I go to a small school, I'm in a small area, how can I stand out to these bigger schools? And we are going to answer all of those questions in this video today. So the first thing I want to start off with, because this is probably the most common one we get asked, how do I get recruited in a run-heavy offense? So if you're in a run-heavy offense, there are a few things that you need to be willing to do. College coaches, especially coaches at the Division I level, they want athletes, right? You see it all the time. Like usually the highest recruited guys coming out of high school are not labeled just wide receivers. They're labeled just DBs. They're usually labeled athletes, right? ATH. Why is that? Because they make plays all over the field, and that's what a college coach wants. He wants an explosive playmaker. So you need to be willing to play special teams. You need to be willing to play defense if you're not getting them as many opportunities, and quit limiting yourself to just one spot on the field. Now, like if you're a quarterback or like an O-lineman, maybe that's different, but the receiver position, you should be trying to return punts, return kicks, play safety, play DB, anywhere where you can get on the field. A college coach is going to know where you fit in best with his offense. If you're naturally a receiver and not a DB, he's going to know that. He sees hours and hours of film every single day. Now, the other thing that you have to focus on is your ability to play in the run game, your ability to help out the team in the run game. Because if you don't block at the next level, which is college football, you will not get on the field. I'm going to tell you that right now. So you have to be able to block. And every single run play, if you guys are a run-heavy offense, is an opportunity for an explosive play. So we're going to look at this player from Travis Hunter and kind of break down the basic run blocking mechanics. So let's play this full speed. So he comes off the ball, gets hands on this DB, and drives him all the way to the sideline. Whether you like it or not, that's an explosive play, right? You showcasing that you can pancake a DB, get across the field and block a safety, whatever it is. Those are all opportunities, fellas. It's all about just creating opportunities for yourself when it is the run game. So don't take the play off. Don't just be that guy who just stands and puts a hand on the DB. If you got a chance to make a play, make a play. Every single play is an opportunity for a highlight. So what are some of those things that can help you get better at blocking? Well, first things first, you need to address the DB under control. A lot of people, because I say, oh, you want to go out there, blocking is an opportunity for a highlight, it's an opportunity for explosive play. They'll come into this to run at this DB like a bat out of hell, out of control, feet are not under their frame, they're off balance, and all it takes is one quick move from this DB and they're around you. You guys have to make sure that we are under control, which brings me to the second point. You need to make sure that you are in a good base. So if you don't have a good base and you show up under control to this DB and your feet are super close together, all it's going to take is the same thing, just a little push, a little pull, and you're knocked off balance. So we need to make sure that I am under control. I'm slowing myself down. I have a wide base, and that brings me to my next point. You want to keep active feet. You do not want to have dead feet. You do not want to be that guy that is flat-footed, because when you're flat-footed, that's just an easy way for a DB to run around you and go make a play on the running back or whoever's running with the ball. So make sure we address them under control. We have a good, strong base, a wide base, not crazy wide, but wide, shoulder width apart, and your feet stay active. So now when your feet are active and you get hands, you can drive from your feet, drive from your base, drive from your hips, and have an opportunity to make an explosive block. So all of those things tie into you helping out in the run game, fellas. Those are all plays that can make you stand out to a Division I college coach in a run-heavy offense. So let's play this again, full speed one more time. Being in a run-heavy offense is no excuse, fellas. There's still many opportunities to make plays, and you should be ultimately playing on the other side of the ball. Now, we get a lot of questions also about, hey, well, coach, what can I do if I live in, like a small town? I live in Canada, I live in Germany, Italy, wherever it is. How can I get recruited to play football in the States, or how do I get recruited to play football at a bigger school? If you're, maybe in like Indiana or Illinois Illinois or Missouri, middle of nowhere, you go to a high school, it's not the biggest school, you haven't had anybody go D1. What are some things you need to do? And guys, you need to be dominant on film. That should be a given, honestly. Like, you need to be making explosive play after explosive play after explosive play. Because let me tell you this, if you go to a school in like California, right, that has so many eyeballs, it has so much talent in terms of football. Like, if you're in, like, because in California they do divisions like Division 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not 5A, 6A like a lot of other states do. But like, if you're in Division 1 through 4 and you're on a team and you're a varsity starter, you're usually pretty talented. And if you can string together just some type of film that's pretty explosive, people just know, college coaches know just by the competition level that's in California, that, okay, that's a pretty good football player. But if you're in like Indiana, like we said, or Canada or overseas, and you're just kind of like making average plays, like, that's not enough to stand out to a college coach, because the competition level collectively, I'm not saying there aren't good players, but collectively is not as high. So they're not going to hold as much weight on that. So you have to be dominant. So what are some examples of dominant plays? And that's what I want to showcase to you right here. So dominant plays are, 50-50 jump ball catches. They throw the ball in the vicinity of you, you're coming down with that thing and you are making that play. You're making people miss. You're catching a slant. You're turning that slant up for 60, 70 yards for a TD. You're breaking tackles. You're returning punts. You're making interceptions, get a pick six. You have to check off all of those boxes, fellas, if you're in that small town and you want to play Division I football. Because at the end of the day, that's what a college coach is looking for. And I'm just being honest with you, because everybody throws that term like D1 around like that, like it's just anybody could do it. It's D1 this, D1 that. Not everybody can do it, and not a lot of people will do it. It's the people who are dominant. And then not to mention, you're going to be matched up against guys who are dominating the highest level of high school football. You got guys who are from Florida playing 6A ball out in Texas. You got guys playing Division I ball at Mater Dei and Bosco in California. And all those guys are dominant. So you got to be at a way different level than them. You should have better film than them. You should have better stats than them. Not that stats matter, but you should. You need to be dominant on the field. So those types of plays, 50-50 catches, diving catches, breaking tackles, returning punts, all those things will stand out to a college coach. Now, let's say, for example, you have all that and you have a great highlight tape, but you still aren't getting the most recruiting attention as you want. A great place to be able to get recruiting attention would be a college camp. So going to a camp setting where you're there, like, let's say, for example, you live in middle of nowhere, Illinois, right? You should probably try to go to a college camp that is being hosted, either in the city of Chicago, a close by state at a bigger university like Notre Dame, like maybe a school that you've communicated with that's smaller like D2, or a camp that's like a satellite camp where a bunch of D1s go to a specific camp and it's being hosted by kind of like a third party, if you will. Or like maybe a smaller school. I know they do that in California a lot. They have this camp every year called like a Redlands camp. Like, it's at the University, I want to say University of Redlands is the name of it, but whatever it is, it's a small, like, they're a D3 school, but they will host a camp. Their staff runs it, and they'll have a bunch of other Division I's come to that camp and scout the players. It's tough to get noticed because there's going to be a lot of kids, but when you get to a setting like that, you need college coaches to see you with your own eyeballs. If you don't have a ton of film, and maybe you have a really good season, but you're in a small town, you got to get in front of guys. You got to build relationships. You have to meet coaches. Going to a camp, you're not going to get an offer on the spot, most likely. There's probably 300 kids at these things, guys. Like, it's so unlikely to get an offer there. Like, it's almost impossible. And I'm just being honest, and I want to keep it real with you. They know their guys going in who they might offer. Like, you hear, I know everybody knows a third cousin's brother who's, oh, well, he got an offer here, he got an offer at this camp. Like, guys, they probably knew that they were coming to the camp beforehand and probably planned to offer them at that camp, whether they performed well or did not perform well. They didn't come in unnoticed and just ball out and then get an offer on the spot without seeing any film and it's t-shirt and shorts. Guys, it doesn't work like that. That's not how the recruiting process works. But when you do go to these camps, to stand out, you got to show your coaches that you know how to run routes as a wide receiver, right? Because at the end of the day, college offenses are constantly changing. Everybody's going to the spread, air raid, throw 30, 40 times a game. So you get a lot of one-on-one opportunities, which is why at every college camp you do one-on-ones. And you have to showcase to your coach that you know how to run routes and you know how to separate. You have to, because because like a lot of guys in high school don't know how to get off press, don't know how to beat press, they don't know how to do certain things because they never saw it in high school. They just take it for granted. They just run past DBs because the competition isn't that good. You can't rely on that forever, you guys. So this is a great example of a wide receiver maybe not knowing what to do and not knowing how to run a route. So let's play this thing full speed, then we'll break it down. So he kind of forces this inside release, gets tangled up, DB makes a great play, and then DB's able to pick this thing off. That's a pretty good rep there by that DB, but honestly, like the wide receiver had an opportunity to create separation, he just didn't take it. So he's got a DB who's lined up inside shade, and he has to go run a corner route. Outside breaking route. I don't know why he would try to get the inside release on this. Number one, because you're running an outside breaking route. And not number two, that DB's inside shade. So we only take that inside release on an outside breaking route if the DB's outside shade. We attack him, then take the inside release. But this DB's inside shade. So we should try to attack him. We should threaten him. We should get him to move and take the outside release. So it's a free release. You keep timing and you keep spacing on the route. But if you try to force your route when this DB's inside shade, he's just going to get hands, disrupt the timing, squeeze you to the inside, etc. Guys, you have to know how to run routes that are realistic. And if you can get open in a realistic way, in a realistic setting, when you're doing one-on-ones in front of a bunch of college coaches, that's a great way to stand out. People ask me all the dang time, like, hey, coach, I have a camp coming up. What routes should I run? What routes will make me stand out? Guys, any route can make you stand out if you make it realistic and you are on time with your feet, your release is efficient, you're efficient at the top of the route. That's what they want to see. They want to see complete route runners. They don't want to see guys do the fancy stuff, the tricky stuff. They want to see complete route runners running routes that are difficult. So, like, I'm talking, this is inside shade press. I'm talking running a post versus inside shade press and knowing how to do it. Outside shade press, you run that corner route. You attack his leverage and take the inside release. Those situations is what will get you noticed in a camp setting, which can help you if you're from that small town, get noticed, and maybe get a little bit more quote-unquote exposure thrown your way. All right, fellas, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to leave those in the comment section below. We always appreciate the feedback. It's always great to hear from you guys. And again, fellas, if you would like 200 plus wide receiver drills that you can do with the exact sets and reps broken down for you, check out that very first link in the description below. We'd love to get you on that. I'll see you guys next time.